I thought it'd be fun to give 25 smart home gadgets in my home a 1 to 5 star rating, just like you would for an Amazon review. But I'm not the only one doing it.
Hi!
Ashley and I are rating everything independently, and when our ratings really differ, we'll find out why. Let's do this. Alright, we've got a lot to cover, so let's dive right in, starting with smart bulbs. We mostly use Philips Hue throughout the house, which I love. These lights use adaptive lighting to always get that perfect brightness and color temperature no matter the time of day automatically. But Philips Hue smart bulbs are expensive, especially if you plan on replacing each light in your home, so I'm going to give these 4 stars. Now, cost is where smart switches can help, as they allow you to replace one switch controlling many lights, which is generally less expensive. I've got smart switches from Lutron and Innovelli, and honestly, they work great. But I'm going to go with 3 stars here because of the effort required to install a smart switch, and by themselves, they don't give you that color temperature changing ability, which is a must-have for me. One way that I automate lighting is with presence sensors like the Everything Presence 1. Since these use a technology called millimeter wave, I can reliably know if anyone is in a room or just in the house. This is great for automating lights turning off, but it's also great for saving money on heating and cooling, and also helpful for arming the alarm system. Presence sensors were a game changer for my smart home, so 5 stars. Okay, so the presence sensor, the Everything Presence 1, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 5.
Hey, we both give it a 5. Why do you like it so much?
I like it so much because I am also very energy conscious, and I think even before we had a smart home, we were always turning lights off. That has become a lot more difficult with multiple children in the house because you're frankly too busy to worry about always turning the lights off. So I like leaving a room knowing that once we all leave the room, the lights will turn off.
Okay, nice. Closely related to presence sensors are motion sensors. These use passive infrared to detect when someone or something passes by. Motion sensors are great for automating lights turning on, but since you have to pair them with another sensor like a presence sensor to get the most out of them, well, I'm going to go with 4 stars. Another type of sensor that works great by itself, though, is a contact sensor. I've got ring contact sensors on every exterior door and window in my home. This is great for running automations like pausing the heating or cooling when a door or window is opened, or turning on the lights when a door is open to a windowless room. Contact sensors get 5 stars. Contact sensors are also great for your alarm system. I'm using Ring Alarm with 24/7 professional monitoring. This gives us peace of mind and has really come in handy. We had an alarm go off while we were on vacation, and I got a phone call right away from a real person. For $106 per year, totally worth it. 5 stars. Smart locks can also help with security so you never forget to lock a door, but smart locks can really vary in their reliability. My Yale Assure 2 with Z-Wave has been rock solid, but some of the Wi-Fi based smart locks are more prone to disconnect, which is just frustrating. I do love the key-free convenience of a smart lock though, so these get 4 stars from me. Okay, smart locks. I gave it a 4. What about you?
I gave it a 5.
Even higher?
I guess so.
How come?
Well, I love not having to remember anything when I leave the house. Sometimes the kids want to go on an impromptu walk, something I wasn't planning. I don't have to run back in the house for anything. I can just lock the door from my phone and we can leave. And I also like the fact that as the kids get older, they don't have to remember a key either. They just have to remember a code, and I feel safer knowing they can't be locked out that way.
I think we agree on all those things. I think I knocked it down a point because we have a few different smart locks, and some of them just aren't as reliable as the others, but we both like them.
That's true.
We've got NFC tags all around the home. though you wouldn't realize it since most are hidden. I've got them tucked behind light switch plates, and if I scan one, it disables the lighting automation in that room. While this can be convenient, it's not always easy though to remember where each NFC tag is located or what they do. My favorite though is an NFC tag on the alarm keypad. If we scan it as we leave the house, it tells the robot vacuum to start cleaning. NFC tags are super cheap, but they're best for very specific use cases, so 3 stars. What about that robot vacuum though? We've got the iRobot Roomba i7 Plus. I love smart mapping and the ability to send it to a dedicated space in our house, like under the kitchen counter. That's an area that gets super messy whenever the kids are eating in the kitchen. But the problem is that Roomba, well, just isn't that great at cleaning everything up. It's not uncommon that I still have to get out the old vacuum or just pick up crumbs by hand. 3 stars. On the wall in our kitchen, we have a smart home control panel running a smart home dashboard. I originally did this so it would be easy for guests to control stuff if they found smart home confusing and we weren't around. But it hasn't been used much for that purpose, and instead, the biggest use case is seeing an image of the video doorbell when someone rings it. With that said, I just think a smart home control panel is cool, so 4 stars. Okay, this one I spent a lot of time on, the smart home control panel. I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 1.
A 1? How come?
Well, honestly, everything on the panel I can already do on my phone. And the panel is kind of front and center in the kitchen. So the kids kind of look at it as an iPad they can play with instead of a panel for the house.
Okay, so you're right about the kids. That is a real challenge. I first wanted to put the panel there actually for when your family visited.
Okay.
So that way, if they were like, the smart home, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to control things, they could just use this as a way to operate different aspects of the home, or any guest who comes had this as a fallback option in case something about smart home just made them a little less comfortable.
Okay, I'll bump it up to 2.
But we did have the control panel automatically turn its screen on when you would approach it based upon a motion sensor. But that's what really kind of set things off with the kids, like you were saying. They would see the screen come on whenever they walk near it, and it became kind of a magnet for them to play with.
Yeah.
Speaking of the video doorbell, we're using the Unified G4 doorbell. It has 24/7 recording and pretty good picture quality. It's so helpful for all of us to know who is at the front door, and this one works great. I use it all the time, and there are no batteries to charge. 5 stars. All right, the video doorbell. I gave it a 5, and you?
A 4.
4, okay. Pretty close. What do you think about it?
I really like it. I think it's really helpful when you're in a different part of the house or you're unable to go to the front door. You can quickly see who it is and decide whether you need to go or whether you can, just keep going on with your life. And I also like that the kids can see it too. So it's helpful for them to know whether they need to go to the front door, whether they can trust who's at the front door.
What would make it a 5 for you?
That's hard. I think sometimes we've had issues with the picture that comes through. Either it's like a picture where it doesn't capture the person who's actually there. It takes a picture before or after. The face is really visible. So that can be annoying.
So we get that notification to our phones whenever someone approaches the door, and it sends a thumbnail image of who it is. Sometimes there can be a delay, and if the person is very quick in approaching and then leaving the door, we get an image that looks like nobody is there or it's the back of them. To regulate the heating and cooling, we're using a Honeywell Home T5 smart thermostat. There's honestly nothing special about this particular one. It just works and allows us to save money on our energy bill. 4 stars. In most rooms of the house, we have an Echo device. When I began my smart home journey, we controlled everything by voice, and these were super helpful for that. But I eventually grew out of them and got tired of the by the way interjections about adding a morning routine when I'm just trying to set a timer for cooking dinner. 2 stars. In some rooms, we're using wireless buttons. What's cool about these is they can trigger anything in my smart home. I can press a button once to turn lights on, twice to turn lights off, or I can press a button to trigger an automation like getting my kids' room ready for sleep time, turning off all the lights and turning on a white noise machine and a baby monitor. 4 stars. Okay, smart buttons. We have one in the kids' bedroom. You just press it and it does their bedtime routine, turns off the lights, gets the white noise machine going. I give it a 4.
I gave it a 1.
A 1? Oh, I thought you'd like it because it's kind of helpful at the bedtime, just kind of get things going.
It was helpful to me, but the kids fight over whose turn it is to hit the button. And sometimes they both want to hit it, so we have to go through multiple minutes of the button being turned on, turned off. They all want to turn, just turning something off.
So I think there are those automations where maybe it does make the actual task easier, but it can have unintended side effects or consequences. Kind of like the smart home control panel, maybe, where in this case, both of them sort of attract the kids and it's more of a toy for them than a piece of utility like it is for us. The only time Ashley and I ever watch TV is when the kids are asleep. And for that, we're using an Apple TV 4K hooked up to our Sony TV. Apple TV 4K has great picture quality, 0 lag, and I love the smart home integrations. I can view any of the security cameras in our home from the TV or get an instant notification on the TV when someone rings the doorbell. 5 stars. Okay, let's talk the Apple TV 4K. I gave this one a 5. And you?
I gave it a 1.
A 1? What? Why?
Honestly, I know I don't appreciate these things like you do, but it seems the exact same as whatever we had before.
Okay, so, I mean, the picture quality, how fast it is, but the smart home integrations, I mean, now we can see any one of the security cameras right there on the TV. If someone rings the front doorbell, it immediately shows an image on the TV of who it is. That's pretty nice.
I guess it is nice, but I think maybe the problem is that I usually watch TV at night, and there's really little need at night to see who's ringing the doorbell.
Okay, I'll start ringing it at night then.
Okay.
We've got a few smart plugs in the house, one of which is behind the TV. I use these to get data on the energy usage of the appliance so I know if it's running or not. This way, I can create automations like keeping the light off when the TV is on, or alerting us when the washing machine is done. We also have smart plugs outside for regulating porch lights and Christmas lights, but the laundry automation definitely adds the most utility. I'm going with 4 stars. Speaking of laundry, I'm using a vibration sensor on the dryer. I don't use it for anything else. It's never failed me once, whereas smart plugs occasionally might disconnect. 5 stars for the vibration sensor. Okay, we have the vibration sensor on the dryer. I give it a 5. And you?
I gave it a 4.
Okay. How come? What do you think of it?
I like it. I like it a lot. It's one of my favorite smart home automations because our dryer is in the basement and the sensor lets us know when the dryer is done, no matter where I am in the house or even in the yard. I have a thing about wrinkly clothes sitting in the dryer, so it helps out with that.
All right. Flood sensors are not something you want to use, but they can save you. We've had water leaks and flooding more than once, and each time I get a phone call from Ring Alarm letting me know. These things are a lifesaver, so 5 stars. To control the water heater in our house, we're using a Quanta water heater controller. We can set it to away mode when we're leaving the house to save energy, or give it a boost when we have guests over and the shower is getting more use than normal. Also 5 stars. Our smart home is powered by Ubiquiti Unified networking equipment. I can't imagine going back to my life before this. Our internet is blazing fast and totally reliable. It handles hundreds of smart home devices like a champ. Another 5-star rating. Okay, this one I think should be pretty easy. The unified networking equipment that powers our home internet. I give this a 5, obviously.
A 2?
A 2? How could it be better? What's wrong?
Well, it's not that it's bad. I just don't see any difference between this and what we had before.
Okay, so before, we had pockets of the house that did not have either reliable Wi-Fi or any Wi-Fi at all. I know when I was working and on video calls, they would often drop because I was sitting the farthest from where the old internet router was. But now, no matter where you go in the house, you've got reliable Wi-Fi. You can be in the backyard or in the detached garage. You've got Wi-Fi there.
Okay.
And it's what allows me to really expand the smart home. We've got hundreds of devices on this thing, and it's running just fine.
Fair point.
Behind our electrical panel, I'm using an Emporia View 2 to monitor the energy usage of each individual appliance. I love the data this gives me on our electricity consumption. It is high effort, though, to install, and I struggle with how actionable some of the data is, but that's kind of more on me, I guess, than the device itself. 4 stars. We have Ubiquiti unified cameras around our home. I love the 24/7 local recording, and I use it all the time. It's amazing how helpful they are for debugging your smart home. But unified cameras are expensive, and I don't know that the quality always justifies that cost, so 4 stars. On the garage door opener, I'm using Rat GDO. This allows me to control the garage door from anywhere and to have cool automations like opening the garage door the moment I pull in the driveway. On rare occasion, it disconnects for a brief moment, but otherwise, it's been solid. 4 stars. All right, the Rat GDO, our garage door opener Wi-Fi control board. What'd you give it?
I give it a 1.
A 1? What?
I honestly don't. This is another one where I don't know the difference between just the garage control button and the control board.
So with this one, we can open and close the garage door from our phones. We can see if it is open or closed from our phones, kind of at a glance. You can see the state of the garage door, and we use it in automations, or at least I do. So when the car pulls in the driveway, it automatically opens the garage door, or if we were to leave the house and forget to close it, it'll just automatically close on its own when no one is there and it's been left open.
Okay, I think you've convinced me. I would give it a couple more points.
All right, there we go. For watering our lawn, I'm using Rakio. I pair it with a Tempest weather system to determine how much it has rained, which lets Rakio know if it should skip a watering session. But the haptic rain sensor on the Tempest, it can be a little off, and Rakio's built-in weather intelligence has steered me wrong in the past, even watering my lawn during a rainstorm. I'm going to give both 4 stars. Let me know in the comments your 5-star and 1-star smart home gadgets and why. If you're interested in how to start your smart home, you'll want to check out the video here. Hit the like button if you found this helpful, and subscribe to the channel for tech reviews and tutorials that help you become more productive. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
I can't believe he gave me a 2-star rating. After all the kitchen timers I've set for him. Makes me not want to be helpful anymore. I know just what to do.
Set a pasta timer for 10 minutes.
Sorry, I can't help you right now. By the way, would you like to get the weather, your commute time, and an inspirational quote each morning?
Wait, what? No, just set a pasta timer for 10 minutes.
Sorry, I can't help right now. By the way, would you like me to sing you a song, tell you a fact of the day, and remind you to take out the trash each evening?
You know what? Just forget it.